Mr. Harrison, would you please provide us with the invocation, sir?
Be happy to pray with you. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day, for the many blessings that you bestow upon us. We thank you, Lord, for life and health, and we thank you, Lord, for being able to live in this county, in this state, in this part of the country, Lord. We pray your blessings, Lord, upon each one that's in attendance tonight, and we pray your blessings, Lord, upon this committee. We pray, Lord, that you would help us to make wise decisions that will be for the betterment of this county. We ask you to forgive us for our sins, and thank you, Lord, most of all, for your Son, Jesus. In his name we pray. Amen.
Without objection, there have been a few items which the requesters have asked to pull, so I'm going to, without objection, pull these. Note, if you did come to speak on these items, you can go ahead and speak on them. That's fine, but I don't think this is probably anything that anybody can speak on. Under old business, both of these, the requesters, and I believe that's correct, Ms. Brown, if I'm wrong. Both of these have asked to be pulled, so without objection, I'll remove those. And same with item number C1, the opioid abatement committee. Without objection, I'd like to remove those.
Move to approve the agenda as modified.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Great. Recognition of the public. Mr. Michael Clark.
Thank you, sir. Michael Clark, 102 Kyoto Trail. Just asking that you approve the budget transfers for the driveway and the architect. Hopefully we can keep this moving and honor Mr. Brown as he wished. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Mr. Jared Mansfield.
I just want to thank you guys on behalf of myself, my present and former constituents, about making progress on the Ladder House at the Martin Realm Park after many years of inaction. But I'd be negligent if I didn't point out that the pace, in my opinion, and citizens' opinion, is still wrongfully slow. Chairman of the General Operations Committee has shared with me several times how much I want to see the project move along quickly, and I completely agree, but I've had to explain repeatedly the obstacles we've had many times that were, unfortunately, it seems like we're facing yet another one tonight. What is before this committee, in my opinion, should not be before this committee at all as far as the $5,000 appropriation for the driveway. The item in question is the construction access driveway. It's fully covered by the existing $582,000 appropriation that's already been approved by the full county commission. There's no statutory or legal basis requiring this to come back through budget or the full commission again, none. Under Tennessee's County Financial Management System of 1981, which does still govern Sumner County in part, once that full appropriation is made, routine expenditures like this are just to proceed administratively. The finance department handles them within scope without needing repeated legislative approval. The idea that every gravel load or site prep needs to come through this committee or any other one is not only incorrect, it's entirely impractical and inconsistent with how capital projects are managed. I would say imagine if this level of micromanaging had happened on the courthouse or the Westmoreland EMS station, we would not have gotten anything done. To make it plain, the $582,000 has already been approved by the full commission, the full amount. No budget amendment has been requested. The construction access falls well below the $25,000 purchasing threshold, and this is a basic operational need, not a design phase issue. And I've confirmed all this directly with our law director. Neither the chairman of the commission nor any single commissioner has unilateral authority to invent new approval requirements, which this seems to have happened. It's not how our financial system works. We do not re-legislate every line item once a lump sum has been passed. Once appropriated, day-to-day project expenditures do not require repeat committee or full commission approval. Let me also be clear, this is not about security and transparency. It's about respecting the systems we have in place and adopted and empowering our staff to do their jobs efficiently once we've done ours by appropriating the money. The gravel driveway is not controversial. It's not expensive, it's not complicated, but it is essential. We cannot restore the house without basic access to it. It's time to stop inventing red tape that doesn't exist. I'm respectfully asking tonight the budget chairman and finance director to acknowledge the authority already granted and allow this project to move forward without further delay or unnecessary reapprovals. Again, just want to emphasize that appropriations like this do not need to go to the committee or the full commission again, according to state law. And even I confirm this with the finance director. So I would ask that we don't waste time in the future on things like this, because imagine, again, the courthouse, the EMS station, we never already had these things built. 278 Lavender Lane, Hendersonville, Tennessee. I'm here to speak on Brown House. Thank you for hearing us tonight. Thank you for hearing us every time we come. I'm sort of like the winter rerun up here, here before y'all tonight. I would encourage y'all to keep pushing the preservation of this house forward, especially coming up on the 250th anniversary of our country. This touches to that anniversary, touches to Tennessee. There's a lot of history there. Our state has not been diligent in preserving a lot of our history. I was looking at a picture yesterday of the Union Station in Nashville, and it looks like half of an item now because that train shed is gone. That train shed should still be on that building there. So many people passed through there in Nashville history, World War II, World War I. We lost that, and every time we lose a piece of our history, it's not coming back. There's not going to spring up out of the ground anymore. So I would ask you to please continue to push this forward, preserve this house for the future citizens of Sumner County so they can see the link to their past and enjoy that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kevin Baker.
Kevin Baker, Course Report, 80 Wade Road. Yeah, I echo the sentiments of the previous speaker. If I didn't know better, I would think that there are forces at work here trying to just slow this thing down, waiting for it to fall into the ground. And what an embarrassment that is for Sumner County and Tennessee in general to allow a historic house like this from a Revolutionary War hero to be just allowed to decay. The other thing I wanted to talk about was Prime membership, and I was looking at it, it's free, and I don't understand all the nuances of that, but, you know, free shipping and stuff like that, nothing is free. And why do we get in bed with a California company who over-promises and under-delivers? Amazon, once they get their teeth sunk into you, over-promises and under-delivers. You know, have we talked to anybody else? Like, Walmart has online services, at least they're from Arkansas, not California. But I seriously take a look at why we're getting in bed with Amazon. I don't think it's a good relationship. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Okay, I believe that concludes recognition of the public. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes. So moved. Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, first item here, which may take a bit of discussion. Potentially, we may end up with a vote. So, last year, we made an effort early on, I believe either January or February, in order to provide guidance. And I think we've done this 2 of the last 3 years, and maybe all 3 I can recall, but I know 2 of the last 3. We provide guidance to the departments for what their COLA raises are going to be. Unfortunately, this year, I don't yet have revenue estimates of any type, and that's just as we all know, we're a little short-staffed in the finance department, not due to any of the great work that you guys are doing, just a little bit behind because we had our finance director head out. So we don't have revenue estimates. So I am a bit, I guess I'm a little bit loath to put out revenue projections, or excuse me, guidance for COLA. However, there's a downside to not putting out COLAs for guidance for COLA, and that is that each of the departments will kind of can have a wide range of what their COLA will be, and then we end up in a little bit of a back and forth that I think we mostly avoided. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. Actually, while we're on that, I would be, if there's somebody who wants to make a motion, if there's anybody who thinks that we have an idea of what we want to do here, I'd be open to it. If we want to just let it ride, or if we want to go with a lower number like 2%, that we almost certainly would not go down from, so that we can start to provide some guidance, or we can just let it go without it. That might be.
Will we have more information next month? sheet has to be out by the 31st of this month. And we normally include that with them.
Right. I'll make a motion that we provide them at least temporarily with a 3%.
Second.
Yeah.
Second.
I can always adjust that after the 30 days.
Before I vote, I just have one other question. Historically, what has been your highs and your lows for COLA?
From 0 to 5.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
0 to 5,
How many
since I've been here.
times has it been 0 and under what circumstances?
I don't remember the circumstances. Long time
Mr.
ago.
Chairman, if I may, and the way I came up with that number, just in case anybody wants to know, is I just did a real quick search, and the expected 2026 Social Security cost of living was 2.8, so if we stay a little bit under, we're at least conservative, and then we can always adjust it after that. That's where I came up with that number. I can just pull it out there.
I'm fine with that. We want to take a vote. We want to take a vote. Is there any other discussions? We want to take a vote on that because I have one more item here. Go ahead.
Just a comment, if we go to 2, like you said, we could always adjust that and not impact anything else.
Right.
So I don't see any harm with going 2 and increasing it versus go with a number and then have to come back and decrease it. That wouldn't be a great path, but, so, anyway.
I think this, at least knowing, seeing some level of trending and knowing what we have, baked into, capital and debt service, we should be okay with 2 at a, almost worst case scenario, even assuming flat, sales tax. So I would think that is pretty safe. Any other discussion on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
One abstention.
One abstention?
Yes.
Okay. So we will put out, Ms. Brown, get the guidance of 2% COLA with the note that we do not yet have revenues. And so that is tentative. The other item, and this is one that I don't know that we need to take a vote on yet, but I want to put out at least what I would like to get to this year for how we do the budget planning and workshops. In the past, we have gone line by line, salary by salary, and I understand why we did that. We did that particularly 2 years ago because we needed a reset. We were, I believe, clearly out of line with what what market rates were, given the inflationary kind of forces at the time. However, and Mr. Hyde, I know you have given me this guidance many times, and you said it openly, that we really ought to try to get to a place where we give a percent or a number to the departments writ large, notwithstanding certain new positions or something like that, and we don't get in the business of doing line-by-line HR kind of work. That needs to be done every year. That need to be done. I think it was great work that we did, but I don't know that we need to do it this year. I would really like to see us get to a spot where we can say, here's the COLA, whatever that percentage ends up being. Here is a merit pool, just like we would for if we were in running a private organization. And here is here's your state mandated longevity. I don't know that we need to vote on that. I hope we get to that.
Would your merit pool be the steps that we gave some departments last year and not others, or is that in addition to steps?
It would be a pool from which they can at least what is in my mind is that it is a pool that we would set an amount, and it would be on the department heads to divvy that up according to how they want to for their steps.
So we wouldn't be given steps off. There's not a third piece.
No. It's
okay,
that's
clarify.
Yeah, this is the idea is here's this pool that you have for your steps. We'll come up with a way to calculate that. We'll figure that out, but so that it's fair any discussion on that? I don't know that we need to. And feel free to argue with me if you don't think that's a good idea. Okay. Ms. Brown, we need to go over this. I think we're okay just with those notes. Just so you know, we have it's small amounts, but we will need to include state mandated longevity in with our.
It's not state mandated.
I thought it is state mandated.
Longevity is not state mandated, period. This amount for the officials is part of their state mandated salary. It's just this small amount is broken out and given to the officials as longevity each year.
Can you explain that maybe when we talked? I didn't quite get it, because I had it, when we spoke on the phone,
Is this your salary based on population? That's gonna go up every year.
okay.
So the officials' salaries are set by the state. Sumner County has, for as long as I'm aware, pulled out a small portion that it ranges from $556 to $714 for the officials that was labeled as longevity and paid to the officials at some point after the budget was approved. These amounts are just random. It's been basically the same amount every year. I don't know where those amounts came from. It's from talking to Mr. Lawing. It was just an arbitrary number set some many years ago. What I would like to see is that this amount, instead of paying it as a longevity check, to pay it over the 26 pay period with the rest of their pay. It has caused issues in the past when we've had death of the officials, just the way we have to calculate their salaries, and trying to make sure that they're paid exactly what they're due versus, it's just,
So I
it's cumbersome for payroll.
Because it's such a small amount, I don't think we talked about this. Sorry, I got us off track. But here's what I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to direct the finance department to prorate these amounts, they're very small amounts, over the course of the pay period, and to do that from this point forward. Is that kind of what you're asking for? To roll longevity into a normal pay period, prorated out, as opposed to have to calculate and true up. That's my motion.
Can I just ask how much are we talking cumulative? Like,
It's $556 to $714 per official.
I'll say.
And to be clear, you still have longevity, true longevity also,
The
Not
regular
the-
employees do.
not the
Officials,
elected.
No.
Okay.
It's all taxes, and it's not treated as a bonus.
Correct.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, there goes the phone. Okay, I have no further discussion. Thank you guys for humoring me. Mr. Mayor, notes.
No report, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Ms. Browning, you're on the hot seat for a while longer.
The financial statement memos in the packet, we plan to have these, that should say December, the December financials should be ready by January 25th. Transfers. Payroll transfers, first one we have is $170 for a comp time payout for an employee that retired.
So second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, before we go any further, we'll want to correct that for the minutes, since that does say November, right, on those financial statements.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll correct that for the commission packet.
No, good note. Go ahead, Ms. Brown.
The next one is comp time payout for an employee that terminated in the IT department.
So,
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Go ahead.
Next is a DGA bonus this is for the health department, DGA employees. This follows the state increases, it's transferring within salary lines.
So my only question here is, this is a true transfer within it, I know we
Yes,
talked about it.
yes, it's not.
Salary to salary, you're all,
Correct.
salary to salary.
Correct.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so, sorry, go ahead.
Clerk and master is going to increase the salary for a new hire by $858.38.
So moved. All in
And
favor?
this is,
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously.
juvenile court. So Judge Howard has an employee that has stepped away from the teen court director position. She's still an employee, she just stepped down from the director position. He's lowered her salary. He's going to take that amount and divide it between two other employees who he's given additional duties to.
So moved.
Yes, yes.
Second. I think I'm fine with this, but are there any benefit implications to that?
No. It's all, because it's just taking it from one person's salary and splitting it between two other people.
All right. We have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
The other inter-budgetary transfers are included. If anybody has any questions?
So moved. Second. Any discussion on this?
Can I have a question? It's just in general, I just wonder, it has nothing to do with Millersville Library or anything, but just on Millersville Library. So if I understand looking at this, they reduced their supplies, their books and everything to pay for their HVAC repair. I guess I would have thought that, is that what it says? Or
No.
tell me what it is. Explain.
That's Portland Library.
I'm looking at the Millersville. This one. Maybe it's down here.
Okay, there's no H. Okay, so that,
And I just read
we
it.
had an error on this copy. This copy has an error on it. So if you look at that location code, it says 6300, and that is actually a duplicate line, so that line.
Okay. And wherever it goes, so,
The 6300 location is for Portland Library,
oh, I see.
but there was a duplication of those. So there should only be two lines for Portland Library, one credit and one debit.
So I'm just wondering, did HVAC repairs have to come out of books? I
It
don't know.
didn't come out of books.
Oh, it didn't,
came out
okay.
of data processing equipment.
It's coded to the wrong line.
Okay.
Correct. All of the,
I just didn't know if maintenance of HVAC came out. I thought maybe there was a county budget for maintenance of HVAC. That's what was my question. We have it decentralized to the location.
some
That's fine.
departments do it on their own.
Uh-huh.
And Portland Library chose to cover it
Okay.
from their
I
budget.
just wanted to.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Go ahead.
I'm just curious, I always go through these things. Nichols, cookie under other administration.
There was an adoption day event at the courthouse.
Okay, and so.
So that's, it was
180.
reimbursing Judge Nichols for
Oh,
cookies for that event.
okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is discussing nonprofit charitable organizations. There was some discussion in another committee, and I'm sorry, I don't remember which one, recently about moving the ones that were reviewed in October, November to the spring when we do the rest of the budget.
So I can elaborate on that. We discussed this, but did you want to get into it?
Yeah, after.
So the discussion was around consolidating all of the, and Mr. Becker, you probably have better history about this than I do, but at one point, the nonprofits were all nonprofits, both charitable and non-charitable. So non-charitable, you think about non-for-profit departments. These were, and I don't know if your fire departments were ever all was a split out, to have a subcommittee, review the charitables, and then the others were, I kind of threw here, severed out, and we kept them here. I don't have any opinion one way or the other about whether that was good decision or bad. It just kind of is what it was. But the discussion was, did it make sense to bring these back together? And Mr. Rector, I'll go ahead and get you next. But my opinion is, to me, it seems, I don't have a strong opinion on this either way. I do like the idea of having everything, having a single kind of entity overviewing all of them, with the exception potentially of the VFDs. And the reason for that is that we have already appointed a different ad hoc to, I've been of the opinion that we need to find a revenue source for that anyway. We have a different, an ad hoc that is looking at that. So I don't know that I would be in favor of putting the VFDs under there. But everything else I think I would do. So that's my opinion. I don't have a super strong opinion on it either way, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, well, related to that, I think that, I mean, you're right, it used to be all combined, we separated out, I don't know how many years ago now. To me, the process has been going fairly smooth, the way it's currently split out. The way, just as a refresher, so currently during the budget cycle, the budget committee and the full commission approve, a certain amount. It's been like 105, and then that 105 through the process that happens late November-ish or sometime in November has been is allocating that 105 to all the charitable requests, et cetera, like that. I think it's been going fine. Mr. Hyde's been on that committee too a few years, but I don't know the background of the request to combine them back again or not.
It was me. And it was just, going into it, it was my confusion because we had Ashley's Place on the outside, and it's a great organization, I want to fund it, but I also want to see the total of my charitable gifting. And I know that there was talk about raising that amount from 105 to 120, but if we're still going to leave Ashley's Place out, I just want to identify that maybe our gift amount goes up to 175, but we identify it all. And
and
that was
Ashley's
what
Place, there was a
yeah, and I don't know.
they perform services that the county we would have to perform those services.
For the sheriff's office, yeah.
Yeah, so it was considered separate from that.
And that was it. It was just my confusion, wanting to see where all the nonprofit was. But if that's the thing, I would say then the money we're giving to spay and neuter so that we don't have to pick up more animals is saving the sheriff's department also. So it's just, but, and I mean, that was all. I just wanted to play.
Do you want to make a motion? I actually kind of agree with your take on it. I don't know if you want to make a motion.
Yeah, well, that would be my motion, is to put all of the nonprofit together so that we could see. And then also, I'd like for us, my motion would be for us to entertain during budget an increase in that, because as everything has went up, some of these non-for-profits do need more. And I think that was coming out of what y'all were hearing also.
I'm going to second the motion, but I'm going to have a couple of limits to it. Because in general, I agree with you, putting all this into one. It adds visibility for us, and also just for, I think, citizens who want to dive into it, right, as opposed to having to go and think, oh, this little bit. Just 1 second, Mr. Klein, I'll get you. Move to, here's this bucket, and here's the charitable, and here's Ashley's Place. So I kind of agree with that, but I want to I also think that just like you might increase, if we get at some point where things get tough, I am of the opinion that charitable, I think there is a good argument, and I support the charitable donations all the time, but I think there is a good argument that the government should not be in the business of making charitable donations at all. I think there's a very good argument for that, and I would tell you that before I would entertain a tax increase or anything like that, I would go and look to reduce these kinds of things, and it's not out of being mean, it's just keeping those in one bucket helps to do that. So, but I would like to make an amendment to, or if you're good with it, to pull the VFDs out, mainly because we have another ad hoc already looking at that, and hopefully we'll find a different way to solve this. Are you good with it?
I would agree with that.
So that's the,
Do you need a second on that?
no, because I'm the second, and
Okay.
Mr. Klein, you've been waiting.
I was just gonna say, I strongly encourage this, because we're just accumulating mountains of information that will be very new to this organization and the entire county. And we should keep it separate, because we don't know how it's gonna fall. It should stay aligned on its own.
And by, you mean the VFD?
The VFDs,
Okay,
yes.
just clarifying.
Yeah.
Would it be inappropriate, as we just passed a motion earlier, to provide guidance to the department heads on 2%, would it be inappropriate to consider these same type of increases?
I would be.
If possible, unlike the, if it comes over a tax increase, we're gonna have to look to cut a number of areas. So,
They can only ask for a very small amount increase every time anyway. It's in the application.
I mean, we're coming from the cost.
Oh, I thought you were talking about each individual. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I mean, I would just leave it alone at this point, but if.
I'm not making an amendment, I'm just asking a question.
My opinion is, I'm loath to do anything until I have revenues, because I'm just like, so that's why. But otherwise, maybe I won't. I may be for it, once we get, absolutely. Mr. Becker?
I don't necessarily think that the decision needs to be made on that right now. If you wanted to wait, I could bring up this same question or topic as we get closer to the.
You mean for Ms. Boyd's,
The motion that's on the floor, on the table.
well, I guess, Ms. Browning, I would be interested in yours and Jessica's opinion here on, like, is sooner better, or would it make sense to wait?
They have to have their applications in by March 1.
Yep,
Okay.
that's what I was gonna say.
So I think if we're gonna do it, we probably should.
I need to let them know if they need to have it by March versus October.
And this isn't gonna hurt you, this is one of these, but if it goes the other way, that's fine, but I kind of agree with it. All right, any other discussion on this? Would you restate your motion, Ms. Boyd?
So we group all of the nonprofit charitable organizations together, excluding the volunteer fire department, and group them in one area so that we can look at the total amount together, and it's more clear for it and transparent.
And in doing that, we have to bump it from October to March. Correct. For what purpose?
Because we would be setting it during budget, as opposed to offset at the
But
later
you can't
part.
just do it like we've been doing and saying this is how much we're gonna do and then
You don't
split
know.
it later.
We,
I'm saying lump it all together, but
I mean,
here's $100, I don't care how you spend it.
so I guess what you're saying is you're challenging the question that they.
I just don't understand why we have to move the timeline.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we could, during budget, set aside whatever we're gonna set aside.
Like we do
And
now.
do they really need to have that in by March, I guess is it?
Right.
I mean, you're challenging this, and I would, maybe, do they really need to have it in by March?
And if I could add something, I think I saw one of the counties, they had it out there, and they kind of, I was reading it, and it was in that county paper, we all get it. And if they got to the end of the year and they weren't over, then they did it, and that's why they were doing it during so that they knew at the end of their budget, kind of where they were at. I can understand why we're probably where we're at, because it's nice to hand out Christmas gifts in December. But I think that's what they did, is they said, if we get to the end of the year and it's been a rotten year, if it's March and June, and our budget, we didn't have what we thought we'd have.
But sitting on that committee, typically, I think the reason we do it towards the end of the year is because we end our fiscal year, middle of the year. They all do it at the calendar year, and so they need that information going into setting that.
Yeah.
So
And they have until June 30th to get
So
their
would that
Christmas gift.
require your?
Yeah, but it's not.
Oh, Ms. Burgdorf?
That was
Any
just
changes in the overall budget.
I understand lumping them together. I completely understand and with you on that.
So does that
No, that
require
just
your
makes more sense.
committee, your
No, it makes more
nonprofit
sense.
committee to meet twice? Is what I'm trying to find out.
No,
No.
I guess,
So
if I'm
then-
understanding this, which I may be, is we would just meet in
November.
June instead of November.
Oh, okay, all right, so you'll do these, okay.
Mr. Hyde, and then
I'm a little bit conflicted on, what's being said here, because I know the committee at times will just refuse to even give an organization because of history or whatever is found out about the request. So you don't even know if a request is made, if it will be acceptable, and we move money around on the committee, and so it's worked pretty well, I think, the way it was, but that's neither here nor there. Whatever the committee decides is fine with me, but I know they may get money, they may get less, they may get more, they may get nothing, when the committee meets, no matter what they request. But I don't want a lot of people to think and assume they're getting something in budget time when it just doesn't work out that way.
Mr. And I actually, given what you said and what Mr. Lambert said, I might question that they need to have any of their stuff in. We could just do it in terms of timeline, do it the way we've been doing it, to your point, Mr. Hyde. We would appropriate the funds just like we've been doing. What I think Ms. Boyd's suggestion, and which I agree with, is more of an accounting effort, where you would kind of group all of these together in one bucket and consider them all together.
I know I sit on the United Way Allocations Committee before, and the way we've done it, you're talking about Ashley's places. They've said, okay, we have to give XYZ LLC, we have to give them $527 because that's what people have designated, and you can go above that. So you could still put Ashley's Place and all these other organizations all together.
Yeah,
You would
that's
just have
what we're getting at.
the total.
I think we agree. Mr. Becker, do you have any other?
I don't understand what the process would be and why we would be changing anything if we have two different timelines.
Well, you would consider, for example, Ashley's Place as the charitable nonprofits would consider, I guess they would become the nonprofits, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Boyd, but any nonprofit, with the exception of the volunteer fire departments, would be considered by what is currently the charitable nonprofit board. So to include things like spay and neuter or other things that might not be considered charitable.
So you're talking about whatever that number is. Right now it's 105 for
Right.
a subset.
Right.
I'm going to make up this number. I have no
Right,
idea.
I know.
So let's just say it's 200 for all of
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
And then everyone goes to the
Correct.
November.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
As long as no one needs, as long as Ashley's Place or whoever the other bucket is, doesn't need money before January. If they don't need their money between July and January, then that would work perfect.
Ms. Boyd,
But this 105 is allocated for our fiscal year, July to June.
No, I get it.
We've been doing it in November, not as Christmas gifts. But they have until June.
Well, it feels like it.
Well, they have until June to get their money.
It's the same amount of time.
Yeah, they have,
to get.
they don't, we allocate them, hey, $2,500. They could get it immediately, or they could request it June
I get it.
29th and get it. So
you're saying everybody would then submit their applications in the fall? Nobody would submit them in the spring?
Correct.
In fact, I think we have two issues. All I wanted to do was group them together. That's all I wanted to do was group them. I just wanted to group them together. And that would also be, is it Trousdale, or the museum? Because, we give them $12,000 out of the regular.
It's just
It's a
an
bunch
accounting
of things.
exercise.
Yeah, and all I wanted was to put them together so we could see them all, and we'd all know what the charitable pieces are. And as far as the timing, I didn't really have the timing could be
Are you
wherever,
saying
and the
that you
money
want
could
the
be.
charitable committee to do all of them and not do any of them during the budget process except for
Correct.
how much money.
Correct.
So I need to let all of them know if this passes that none of them, not the volunteer fire departments, not nobody. Okay, sorry, not them, but everybody else, them submit March 1 and everybody else October 1, right?
Yeah,
And
that would be the implication, Ms. Boyd.
And my request was just that we put them all together. As
Okay.
far as who's doing the work,
Let me do
I don't
this.
really have a,
There may be some timing implications on this. Is there gonna be, I always ask this, do you think there will be any kind of, walking, is there gonna be anything breaking?
I mean, they're still gonna get, no, not really,
All
I don't
right,
know.
I'm okay with
I don't know how they do their
All right.
budgeting, so.
Second
If they
question.
can't get the money, the civic
Yeah.
organizations that are budgeted in the spring, they can't get their money until the budget actually passes. So this year it didn't pass till the end of July, last year was the end of August. So it's at some point after that, so, and some of them don't request it.
Some of them have to remind them,
Yeah.
like.
Till June.
I can appreciate the spirit of what Commissioner Boyd's trying to do, but I would say that if it's just confusing to us, it may not be worth doing.
That's fair. I'm just gonna go ahead and put, this is a very fair point, and I almost switched my vote on it.
No offense to Commissioner Boyd.
Is there any other discussion? I wanna put this to, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
no.
I think the noes have it.
I'm gonna let yes and no was.
We'll go, okay, if you
Yes
were,
was to approve.
if you had, if you were
Wait,
aye.
but there was a difference, because then we talked about leaving the calendar to
there's-
Hold on,
Basically, no,
hold on.
Can I remake
Hold
a
on,
motion?
nothing, we've got one, we just took a vote on it, but I need to get the count on the vote. All in favor?
No. I need to know what you
Yeah,
got to
that's
say.
what I'm trying
Go ahead and
to
restate it.
Well, I would just like to restate, my motion was just to group them all together, as Matt had said, as an accounting, just to put them all together so we could see what they all are. That was my only motion.
You have no calendar implications with your motion.
No,
Okay.
I really don't. I don't have, if somebody'd like to amend and put the calendar in
But
and put the amount, those things will happen.
the
but-
problem is that there is a natural calendar, and what I'm hearing, I think, is that there is a natural calendar implication for this, right, like you guys.
Well, I'm not understanding what she's wanting about grouping.
I don't know what you're saying.
She wants to put them all in one lump sum.
So we look at them together.
But
Go
you
ahead.
don't know how much.
She wants to take money away from Ashley's place and give it.
No.
Don't say that.
All right, hold on.
Give it to Grace's place.
Wow, this is great, that's not gonna have easy night tonight.
Do we even give Grace?
Wait, hold on, order, I need a gavel.
Yes.
Ms. Bergdorf.
I love the idea of offloading all of the charitable to the excellent non-for-profit board and let them have 3 days in November that they fight about this, that we don't have to fool with it in not April, because it's never come in April, but in May, and then rush around in June trying to find dates. I love that idea, but we are just running in circles. So I would like that we not deal with this in this commission year. Let the next commission deal
So
with it.
we've got to,
I know you don't like that.
procedurally, we've got a vote that I need to retake here, so. Ms. Boyd,
No, I can withdraw my motion.
All right, there we go. If
And
you want,
since everybody cannot understand
All right,
accounting,
so
let's
are you withdrawing the motion?
Since you can't understand.
are you withdrawing? So we're withdrawing. Go ahead. You don't have a motion on the floor.
Correct. So, but related to the non-charitable organizations, Grace Place, they were awarded $1,000. They have declined the $1,000, and so I would like you all to consider, and if someone wants to make a motion, Habitat for Humanity, they were awarded, they requested $5,000, they got $2,500. They circle back around, they have a brand new 6-home community, they would like that.
Motion and a second.
Yeah, for that $1,000 shift over.
Okay, hold on. So the motion is to move the $1,000 that were declined from Grace Place to move it to Ashley Place.
No.
And Habitat for
Habitat for
Humanity.
Humanity.
Correct.
All
That's what I was asking.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I'm opposed.
All right, motion carries unanimously.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't. Our motion carries -1. Sorry about this. That one went way more than I thought we were gonna have. I agree. All right, I like your motion for what it's worth.
It may.
Okay, so we now, out of, any other notes, Ms. Browning? Mercifully, we don't have any more old business. We moved. All right, moving to new business. So, under item A is appropriations. These are, capital projects. Item number A is $39,031, $3,931 for, a parking lot project. Is there a motion? Capital. Sure. Motion. Second. All in favor? Vote.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep, go ahead.
what parking lot? We've allocated a ton of money for
There's
the parking lots.
There's a few
Animal
of them, right?
control, Galveston Health Department.
Didn't we allocate like $100,000?
Actually, had 200,000 allocated for it. We spent 3,359 on the Harrisonville County Clerk's parking lot.
Is this part of that 100,000?
It was 200,000.
Is this?
It was in
Well,
the
it's a county
original
parking
budget.
lot.
In the original budget, there was $200,000 appropriated in capital projects fund. We've spent 3,359 of that on Hendersonville County Clerk's parking lot. The total project, and there's several parking lots on the list. Total project came in at $200,572. We need $3,931 to be able to take care of all of these parking lots.
The ones in red we removed for a later date.
Mr. Becker?
So this request is because it went above the original 200.
Correct, and we've already taken care of the Harrisonville County Clerk's parking lot out of that money.
Okay. And who's overseeing the parking lot project and determining?
Finance
Like who's-
office
like who's
is
overseeing?
working with the mayor's office.
That's mayor's parking lot project.
So the mayor's overseeing the finance department.
Correct, we, issued our, RP with, working together, getting this done.
Okay. So if it was underneath the 200,000, we wouldn't ever even see it
Correct,
on anything.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up in a minute.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Mr. Klein.
So are we hiring this outside the county, or is this Toby's project?
It is not Toby.
It's not Toby's, so we're hiring separate.
We did an RFP, we got bids in, and this was a low bid.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Another is, $40,000, for local capital project restricted fund balance, for county buildings, security.
So moved.
Second, any discussion?
Yes.
I would just note here that if we're gonna discuss this, we probably need to, move into session.
Okay, never mind.
All right.
I know
Just
what it is.
because it has security implications. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? Okay.
Wait a second.
Who made the motion?
We need to wait till they read it on there.
Yeah.
Who made the motion? Was that you?
Yes, sir.
Wait
You
a
wait a second.
Yes, sir.
Wait a second, do that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. All right,
Wait a second, reading on the parking lot first.
no, it's under, it should be, right, it's under, what is it, $5,000? Yeah, we're good, we're under, we're fine. Board of Education, pending education, I believe. that's-
County clerk.
County clerk. Number 2, county clerk.
Oh, thank you. $9,900 motion,
Second.
all in favor?
But,
Aye.
excuse me,
We already took it, did you have, go ahead and make a
Well,
comment.
this is our ADA book. How do those two jibe? This book was developed in 2022. Maybe the mayor can help us with this, but I'm all of a sudden, what we were told for several years, that if we just keep working on it, all of a sudden this is a computer issue, right? Is this being updated?
This has never been adopted. So we have to go, we did not formally adopt this, so we need to address the issue of adopting an ADA transition plan.
Okay.
That's the first issue. The second issue, this addressed buildings, structures, and sidewalks.
This does.
Yeah.
This does not.
This is a website. Now, that's a website.
This is just for our IT organization to upgrade our website to, what is this, new requirements?
It would be the ADA requirements website.
I see, and that's what.
Yeah, Carolyn is here. If y'all
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, we took a vote on this, I'm happy, Mr. Klein, I didn't want, because your hand was up and I missed you. If you would like to say it, we can, we did already take a vote on it, but
Well,
I'm trying to,
I just,
I didn't want to.
I'm just trying to understand, because this whole ADA
If we'd
thing
like to
is,
just,
There's an email in the
if we'd like to.
package.
I read
Without
it.
objection, I'll take a vote to suspend the rules to allow Ms. Captions to speak.
Please.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Now, this is not the IT department. We have our own website. For the IT department, it's not servicing my website.
Well, I saw Robert's name on the,
He sent me the information, making me aware of the change.
okay.
So when I contacted the people, Element, who does our website, they gave me a call. What would do? I said, what will it cost just to get me compliant? There's $5,000 difference in being just compliant or going ahead and fixing the whole website where people have to come back later and do it. And so this has to be done by April 26th.
And we would have to come back and do it, so
Eventually.
by April?
Well, April is the deadline to get it
Compliant.
I'm asking rather than just to put a Band-Aid on it, to do the whole thing.
How often do these regulations on ADA change? I mean, if they've changed $9,000 worth since 2022.
Well, we've not made a change in ours. We have, the county clerk had its website before the county ever had it. So I've stayed with it when Mr. Kemp left. And so I don't remember us having these changes. And they upgraded ours just before he left. And I don't remember anything about any ADA changes.
Okay,
So,
but what our head of IT sent in those, I think there are 3 links there. Those are the most recent requirements. And so that's what this company is looking at.
Right.
Same thing.
When I looked at those, I didn't understand a thing about it.
Okay.
So I
That's two of
called our company and I said, tell me, there's different levels. And I didn't understand. I thought if you had a website, that if people that can't hear, can't see, that have disabilities. And I don't know how it works.
Okay.
I just know that I've been told we have to have it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
We would need a second reading on this, correct? I think we would. So I'm going to go ahead and take another vote on this. Well, I'm going to bring us back under rules. So is there a motion to? I'm going to go ahead and take another vote on this, just because I think we might have collected another vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Wait a second.
Well, one more time. Motion maker, good with waiving the second? Yes, sir. You're good with it? All right, one more time. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion is unanimous. All right, great. Thanks.
I'll make a motion to approve C 1 and 2.
All right, motion. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion is unanimous. C1 is full. C2, this is the business prime membership. Ms. Browning, can you give us a little bit of detail on that? I know we had a citizen comment on it, just to get some notes out to the public.
My understanding is, this would be for all county departments. All county departments do not currently have a business prime membership. For the first year, according to the rep, it would be free. That's currently a $3,499 value. After 1 year, then we would be charged whatever the rate is at that time. currently, for the departments that do have a prime membership, this was for fiscal year 25, we pay $1,522 for prime membership.
Already.
This is what was paid during fiscal year 25. Some have been, because they're staggered throughout the year, it's why I didn't pull current years. Because all of them have, it varies when
So
I
that's
pay
what's
them.
been paid current.
For
this
fiscal year 25 was $1,522. This program, once we get past the first 3 years, then it's going to be probably at least $3,500. It could go up. That's the current rate.
What do we get out of it?
Well, according to them, we get free membership, free shipping, some discounts, tax exempt. We're already tax exempt, so.
Is this something that the rep came and presented, or is this something that one of the departments?
My understanding is they came to the mayor's office.
Amazon.
Person.
Okay. Yep, all right. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, just procedurally, I'll make a motion to approve, but I'm going to vote against it, just so that we can get it out.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'll second that, and I think I'm probably gonna do the same thing. Is there any other discussion on this, Mr. Mayor? I know they came to your office. Are there any notes on this? If you wanted to speak for those departments?
No, they brought it to my office. I'm throwing it out there for consideration.
All right.
And there's no way to quantify the pros and cons. I'm assuming it'd be a very involved accounting.
I think that I got my answer with that question.
Yeah, how many departments use Amazon? Don't they all have?
Most use Amazon,
Yes.
but not all of them have a prime membership.
Oh, okay.
All in favor? All opposed?
No.
I guess the first unanimous no. Okay. All right. Don't make a sales pitch in Sumner County. All right.
Well, not without some backup.
Yeah. This is a memorandum of agreement between Sumner County and the City of Gallatin for the $12 million fast track. This was we put stipulations on this in the committee, and then the mayor vetoed it. From the commission, so it's back to here. So I think we're all familiar with this.
Mr. Chairman, and I'll make a motion to approve it, but I'd like to get into.
Yeah, go ahead. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Is this approving it with the
Is
stipulation?
this approving, well, what is the motion for?
The motion is, and I'll speak and then I'll make the motion again. In legislative, the motion from the committee, and I believe the vote was unanimous, was to not override the veto, but to present it again unencumbered with amendments as it was originally presented in this committee and in legislative last month. So that is my motion.
Second. Okay, motion is second. Any discussion on this? Did you want to do?
That was all.
Okay, Mr. Klein, go ahead.
So I'm a little confused on this. Would this motion be to send it back to the commission the way it was last month?
It's basically not fighting against the veto.
Yeah, and the amendment was, if I recall correctly, was to keep a moratorium on annexation of county property.
There were two on there.
That was 1 and 2.
Yeah, there was one. Go ahead.
I don't remember. What was the second?
The second one was for the City of Gallatin, from Mr. Wynn's amendment, from the City of Gallatin to pay us what they owe us.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Go ahead, Mr. Lawler.
If I may, just procedurally, this is going to commission, so
If it's going to commission anyway.
that's my point, so
Without objection, then let's just,
you could actually remove it.
let's just, without objection, it's going to commission anyway. to that, I mean, doesn't really matter. We'll make our decision there. Okay, item number, C4, Roundhouse, budget agreement approved. Motion agreement approved, I'm gonna second it, but I'd like to get in queue. Anybody else on this one? Or actually, this is, I've got a few questions, and I was about to ask if you needed to make to waive a second reading, but I'm gonna note here that I saw the emails come through on this, and I listened to a couple of speakers today, and I guess I may have agreed with the email from one of the commissioners here. And I could be wrong, but I don't understand, why would we need to do this? I guess is the question. I would ask that of our law director and our finance director. Do we need to do this?
If there's no change of scope and the money's already been appropriated regardless of whether there's official plans, I do not know why this would need to be here either. And I've spent a lot of time on this.
Do you agree with that, Ms. Browning?
Yes. However, in the past, any time that there has been any question about any transfers, we have not posted them in the system, and we have brought them to.
I understand. No. And there's no criticism here. I understand.
No, I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. So we brought them to this committee for approval. They generally don't go to commission if it's just regular budget transfer.
Okay. And I'll get you in just a second, Mr. Becker, because I'm going to make a comment. Mr. Becker had made a comment earlier, and I was going to mention a similar thing when we were talking about the $200,000, the $3,921, I think, extra. That came in excess over the
went out of scope.
Was because it went out of scope. And the question that Mr. Becker asked, which I was going to ask, was this included in the $200,000? And if it had been, would we need to do anything? And the answer was no. And I find that to be pretty much the same thing that's going on here. Literally, part of it is for a parking lot. So, I don't understand why we need to do that. I know, Mr. Becker, you made that request, and I think you want to speak on it. So, by all means, speak. But I don't think we need to do anything with this. Go ahead.
Okay. So, a little background of why I made some comments or had discussions. Some questions. I received some questions about the ad hoc committee's authority to spend money when they are, I guess there's 14 members now. I may be wrong on that, but 14 members of the ad hoc committee, probably 7 commissioners, and so anyway. So the question was, does the ad hoc committee, did they have the authority or not, and whether or not is the architectural, my understanding is that project's not, we don't have a defined scope and cost that has been approved by the full commission. Yes, there's been 500, is it 583 or 500, whatever. There's been 583 or whatever it is that's been, thrown in that bucket. But the question is, has the proper approvals happened to then allow that ad hoc committee or whoever else it is? Typically, it's someone like the mayor's office or one overseer versus a committee of 7 commissioners and 7 residents or however many residents. So I had asked Mr. Shamrock, my understanding was the approval was ad hoc, gen ops, budget, full commission, and that if that's what it needs to be, that's what it needs to be.
Yeah, okay.
And I was not given any information that was not the proper path. And so, there's comments about trying to slow things down. That's absolutely not good. There's comments from the intent is I want to do things right. And if that temporarily slows things down, that's fine. I'm good with that. But if I don't really care what it is. The law director had told me that the ad hoc committee, they're able to spend that $500,000 any way they want because there's no scope. right? So they can spend that $583,000, whatever they want to spend it on. And if it goes above the 583, then it has to get further approval. Or he mentioned that we could have a resolution to officially change the approval authority.
So I understand now, and by the way, I wasn't trying to just throw stones.
No, I know you weren't.
But just to be clear, like, so, in my mind, the parallel that I'm drawing is to what we were just talking about with the,
Agreed. That's why I asked
the parallel I was drawing. I think the parallel you might be drawing in your mind is the parallel to, nonprofits. Whereas, I mean, it's a little bit different, right? But we appropriate money for nonprofits, and the nonprofits, will allocate that, and then that does come back through budget. It does ultimately come. So I can, seeing where you just laid that out, I can understand, like, that's the parallel you were drawing. The parallel I'm drawing is over, we have this appropriated. I guess I would ask the question, and Ms. Klein, I think you want to speak here. I do want, I truly do think that the commission as a whole, and we can have different opinions, I do think that at least from the votes, people want to see this get done and fixed. And I want to make sure that this organization has leeway to do that. If there's some check that needs to be put over it, then we can consider that. But I want to make sure that they have that room to maneuver. So I guess before we move on here, I would ask: what would the law department's recommendation be, if anything? Maybe the recommendation is nothing for us to do with this, and with future requests.
In this specific situation, I couldn't find anything that took it out of an expenditure that was reasonably related to advancing the approved project.
Okay.
Everything that was in front. Now, in the future, if the commission wants to formally define these things, they can do a resolution, a clarifying resolution that this specific project is going to be handled this specific way, or the creator of the ad hoc can create some sort of guidance, because ultimately they're the ones over the ad hoc, that specific committee, and they could have some sort of guidance for the ad hoc that you do A, B, and C, you can't do D without coming back to us. But it's all in the instructions that are given. Basically, there's not a legal answer to that.
I mean, I suppose that the simplest way to think about that, at least, actually, let me stop talking. You were next.
Yeah, let me just as quickly as possible. Originally, when we were talking about this temporary driveway to get access onto the property, that's accessed by the architect, accessed by Mr. Shamrock, and everybody else who has to get into the house. Toby and Don Long, we're going to go over. Toby's got tons of used pipe that he can throw in that culvert. He's got piles and piles of gravel. All you got to do is go over to Old Water Street, and you can see everything he's got. It was going to be a simple thing. We throw a pipe in the culvert where there's a low spot, bring out a few trucks of gravel, stay outside of the riparian zone, and connect with the old gravel driveway that's still there and intact, and get it from that point to the street. Okay, for some reason, Toby came back and needed some sort of a scope. We're talking about a temporary driveway. This is just so that we can get to and from the building. And then, Mr. Mayor, if I'm not mistaken, you were going to get together with Toby a week or two ago and resolve the issue. And so, what I would like to say about the $5,000 is we've already approved over $500,000. The county commission has done that. We're talking about a temporary situation here just to get access in. The $15,000 for the architect was necessary because he has to bill hours to talk to the ad hoc to decide what exactly is going to happen with the building, whether it's going to be something like the Douglas Clark House, which we don't want it to be, or if it's gonna be more like the Bridal House. So that's why that $15,000 is there. That needed to be allocated. The 5,000, I still don't even know if it needs to be or not, but I don't believe either of them need to run through budget because it's already been approved.
Here's what I'm gonna do, maybe I'm happy just to give the guidance here, maybe clear some things up. What's funny and ironic about this is I think that we're making the case that once a budget has been appropriated, maybe for even a constitutional officer, they should be allowed to operate within the bounds that they want to. But in any case, here's what I'll make this motion just to where it's super clear. That so long as a request for budget is within the scope of the approved budget and in keeping with the will specifically, only repairing and keeping the home itself in order, or anything directly in support of that,
Sure.
that it shouldn't need to come through here. That's my motion. Okay.
That's fine. You want me to expand on that just a little bit?
Yes, Mr. Hyde, I'll give you next.
I would, an expenditure, and they're reasonably related to advancing the approved project.
Yeah, but I'm being a little more, I'm narrowing it down to being
The tighter you get it, the smaller that corner as you're painting yourself in. How much stuff's gonna start coming through here now?
I mean, it's already coming through here. So I'm trying to give.
But maybe unnecessarily.
I mean, it's y'all's
What I'm
decision.
saying here is, I'm saying exactly what you're saying, but I'm narrowing it down to make sure that we're not going way outside of the scope, and we're not trying to go and we're gonna go and build a park to the side, or do what we're here to do. It is for this specific project and in keeping with the will. That's what my motion is. You can take it, leave it. I think it fails for a second. All right, Mr. Hyde, go ahead.
Has anyone addressed the controller about, whether this procedure in spending this money is correct? Has anyone?
The comptroller? I don't know, have we?
I checked statutes and I found nothing that runs
I'm not
afoul.
talking about statute, because they go beyond the statutes a lot of times in their, decisions. I am fully committed on the restoration of this house. I'm an old history teacher, and I am fully and totally committed to it. But it's how it's spent that I'm concerned with, because I don't want us to get in the situation of taking away from a committee of the commission the authority to do their job on county property. I got upset about several things that have gotten outside the commissions, including the voter registration office and other things. But with this being a committee of citizens and an ad hoc committee composed of them and commissioners, I would feel more comfortable if I had a document from the state controller saying this is within what I believe to be correct.
Mr. Klein, was that a motion to request?
Yes.
So you have a motion to request a letter from the comptroller? And that letter would just
review the proper procedure for the expenditure of these funds.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Klein, did you want to speak to that?
I would like to ask, the mayor was going to answer the question about his most recent meeting with our highway superintendent. I would just like to hear that before we move further.
Yeah, we went out there the next day and looked at it, and I think the scope's going to exceed $5,000 for the project. So my question is if it exceeds $5,000, do we move forward with it, or do we come back? I think because it's more than $5,000. Is there a limit on what we spend?
I think that's the whole. What you just describing there is the entire crux of this discussion. What level of management should, Mr. Wright, to your point, this body have? I mean, you know, and I think the question is, do you want to have, you know, I don't think it matters if we, my opinion is, you know, if you spend $5,000, $5,500, I don't, that's not material. If somebody were to say, hey, somebody's requesting to spend $100,000 on a driveway, right? I mean, there is something of a judgment call that happens here, and I don't know that if we try to get like really restrictive over the rules, we're gonna hamstring you guys. That's my opinion, Mr. Becker.
So, along those lines, last week, I guess it was in Gen Ops, I had made the comment of, because we didn't know the cost, you were going to go get what you did, so thank you for that. And that during budget, the budget committee could bump this up instead of having to go back through the process. So if the budget committee knows that 5,000 isn't enough, then you could change that 5 for up to 10 or whatever. Now, but going to your comment about the $100,000, if we go the letter of the law without the finance controls not caring about them, then that ad hoc committee can spend $100,000 on anything they want.
I mean, I don't.
Because there's not a defined scope.
I don't know
there's
that
not a defined scope.
I don't know that I agree. My opinion is that I think we would see something like that, and that would be considered.
Well, budget would see it too, or finance would.
Yeah, like.
Where would we see it if we let ad hoc committee?
Whoever.
It'd be after the fact. Yeah, after the fact we see it.
So they got a request, right? For the payment.
Here,
We would have a request for the payment, and if the funds need to be transferred, we'd see it.
Yeah, so we'd see that request. You can put a whole
So, so what is the $15,000 for architect? What is the architect gonna do for us?
I can answer that. We have to meet with the architect so that we can tell him what we want to do with the house. He's got all kinds of requirements to classify that building. There's architectural classifications of the yin-yang. He needs to ask us the appropriate questions. We give him the answers that we want to see this as. I'm speaking about the ad hoc. And then he can start to draw those things. But the $15,000 was an overextended amount just to cover meeting time, because he has to bill for meeting time. That's the way the contract is written with this architect. He bills for meeting time. Don't expect it to take 5 hours, frankly. But he needs to ask these questions to get these answers so he can truly develop the scope.
Okay, so so the scope hasn't been truly developed. So my contention here is until the scope is truly developed, then it's not to that point where the committee can just spend the money. So if that's wrong, then it's wrong. I'm voicing my opinion, y'all can vote.
No, I get it. Here's what I'm gonna do.
But the scope isn't defined.
Hold on a second, guys. We have always allowed, commissioners who are on other, committees to speak, so I would, without objection, I'd like to move to suspend the rules so that we have somebody who wants to speak to it and has information on it. Maybe counter, I don't know. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you. First, I was chairman of the ad hoc. I used to be the chairman of general operations when we went through this process. I'm going to challenge you, Chairman. It's not true that the ad hoc has any authority to do anything. That's just false. So I would appreciate if you guys.
So what is true then? No, we're no rules. So
What's true is that the ad hoc reports to Gen Ops. Everything that happens in the ad hoc goes to Gen Ops.
So Gen Ops approves everything?
Correct. That's how it works. That's how it always works. That's how
so
the
Gen Ops
process works.
Okay, so you're saying that Gen Ops would approve the 5,000 and then it could be spent?
Then they did.
No, so you're saying that piece is correct?
But what I'm saying is they don't even have to do that.
Well, then, so you're contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not contradicting.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. So what it comes down to is the procedure that you're wrong about, and I feel strongly about that. We can argue about it, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because what you've done is you've commanded the finance department to take everything from the Brown House, the Loudon House, Brown House, and have to run through the commission, which is not true. It's not what state statute requires. It's not what the law requires.
and it's not what our process is requiring.
You're wrong about that, but keep going.
So, so going back to that, when it comes to the ad hoc committee, the General Operations Committee was formed the ad hoc committee. We did it last year. And the reason we did that is to get it out of the Gen Ops so that we weren't spending 4 hours every Gen Ops meeting talking about the Lattimore Brown House. We got public comment for 30 minutes to an hour, so we segmented that process to make it easier to streamline the Gen Ops. That's one reason we did that. Second reason we did that is we have a historic specialist that works a lot of houses, including Bledsoe Fort, including Craig Farm, including the Bridal House, come in and spend multiple hours with Commissioner Klein, and we approved up to $5,000 from the County Commission twice, two $2,500 appropriations. Then we go out and do renovations and deconstruct that house a little bit so we can even figure out what was going on to even start the process so an architect or designer can come in. And there is
And that got full commission approval.
It got full commission approval at that time.
Okay.
So because we were taking action, that never happened. But what happened with the actual plan, there is a plan. It's false to say it's not a plan. We came up with the entire plan.
He just said their scope hasn't defined, so.
No, the scope is defined.
I'm going by.
Architect. The reason we're having to do this is because state law requires anything over $50,000 to have an architect for county government. And it's completely unnecessary and a waste of resources to have an architect on this project. We've had builders and construction guys saying, why are we doing this as an architect? This is not a new build. We are literally renovating a home. You don't need an architect for that. Except for government.
Okay.
And that's the only reason why. So what we did was we came up with a plan. We literally have the whole budget for the entire thing, about $80,000 under budget, and we were very, very conservative in our estimates to be over what we thought things might be, including the full driveway, which is like $38,000 with the Excel spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take that into consideration, we don't need an architect, but the problem is we had to back out of our process because we were ready to go. I mean, this house should have been done by now if we were in a normal process. Because we're government, you got to have an architect. You got to go through the RFQ process, which is a request for qualification. Well, we started that process, and that got put on hold because of this riparian buffer stuff that nobody knew about. So the school board got that put on hold. So that put us on hold for like 3 months.
What was that again?
The riparian buffer that nobody knew about because they had credits taken out for salamanders in 2018 when the bond was taken out. And so that caused a whole brouhaha that nobody knew about. We already had the RFQ out, the process was out, and we had to stop that process. We had to back it back out because the state law requires for these types of projects over $50,000 to have an RFQ, request for qualifications of an architect. We went through that process. The bid process was out there for like wasn't 2 months, but it was like 4 weeks total. The second time was out for 4 weeks, after we'd already gone through once. Once we went through that process, they picked a qualifying architect. One architecture firm came in there and put the bid in there. So they accepted that. And then,
there was only one bid?
There was only one bid, yes.
No, so, all right, well,
There was multiple bids.
only one qualified.
One qualified.
Yeah.
So now we're in the process of our architect firm has gotten picked. The architect firm has been approved by finance, which is the county commission approved a general construction and renovation policy on this. So we're following that policy to a T. We're following the policy that came out of Gen Ops about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, on how this process works with an architect and a firm. So now that we've had to go through the architect process, that comes back through Gen Ops. Gen Ops approved it. We have to have the ad hoc approve it. But technically, the county mayor could have signed that hourly fee. We didn't have to come to the county commission. He wanted it to come to the county commission, but he could have signed that, but he didn't. So now we are 2 months later to go through the process. So now we've gone through that process. Now what the architect's going to do is they're going to go look at the plan that we came up with, and they're basically going to approve it. We're going to work with them to have to rubber stamp it because state law requires it, because some lobbyists said we had to have architects. So that's where we're at in this process. Not because we needed an architect, it's not because we didn't have a plan and we didn't have a process. We got it all figured out. We're just waiting for an architect to come in here so we're legally following the requirements of state law. We're 7 months behind now because of that, this process. And so now here we are. Now, once we approve this, the $15,000 did need to be approved by this committee because that's what the policy says. It is the construction renovation policy when it comes to the architect. So that's different than this driveway skirt that's just county property. It's not, it's 2 different issues. So what has come in now with this process is once the RFQ goes, once we meet with this architect, we approve this fee, the architect's going to come meet with committees or with the plans that we've already come up with. He's going to have to do drawings to satisfy state law, and then we're going to put out what's called the RFP, request for proposal, for the contractor to then come bid on the process. And once the contractor, that goes out to bid for a couple of weeks, and contractors bid on doing the actual work and working with the architect based on the plan we come up with. Don't know if he will or not, but I hope he does, because he's done so many other things. So hopefully we get to a process, we get somebody like him, who has that qualification to request for a proposal to come in here to work on this project. But what happened last week, and I agree with the commissioner from the 5th district, he thought what happened in Gen Ops was ridiculous, because this is county property that we own, trying to use county resources, the county department, to just go out there and put access to something that we already own, and it's a separate issue. It's a county-owned property. We're just trying to put a driveway skirt. We're not even putting a driveway. It's just for a skirt to put a tile and just to get access so you can drive over that.
I'm trying to get us back in.
I'm sorry, I generally, ad hoc has nothing to do with approval. We have no authority.
Just so you're aware, I generally agree with you. I've just been trying to move us forward here. Is there anything else?
I just wanted to clarify that. So I appreciate it.
I got it. All right, I'm gonna pull us back under order. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Mr. Hyde, would you like to restate your motion?
It's just to ask the controller if we're within order with everything that we're doing. I don't want that to stop
I agree.
anything.
I was gonna
Busters, go ahead.
I agree.
We need a letter, and then I'll feel real comfortable.
I think there's no harm in doing that, provided it doesn't stop anything or slow anything down.
I don't want anything to stop. I would like to have that.
Go ahead.
So we're basically allocating spending authority to the county committee.
Well, no, we just, that's not what we're doing. And I think the comments that were just made here were that the $15,000 for the architect is, no one's arguing that doesn't need approval.
It's basically just a budget transfer.
Yeah, nobody's arguing that doesn't need approval. The one that was the question was the driveway.
Okay.
But we need to dispose of what is on Mr. Hyde's amendment first. So let's try to come back in here. Any other comments on Mr. Hyde's amendment? And Mr. Hyde, just so that I understand, this is just to request a letter. We're not going to slow anything down. It's not going to change. We're just requesting a letter, and if anything, that probably gives us more top cover for that committee. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Mr. Becker.
So, question, help me out here. Why is it no one arguing, this is just for my knowledge, okay? I'm not arguing the other way. But that the $15,000, yeah, it does need approval, but we're at the $5,000.
So, if this is at least these are the parallels, and I just listened to our commissioner over here, and the parallels that I'm making in my mind is that the $15,000 is very similar to what we did for the courthouse build-out, right? I mean, we asked for, I think in that case, it was a $100,000 courthouse build-out fee. We put that aside in order to go get an architect. That is money within an approved appropriation that we need to appropriate. Well, that's money within a project that we need to appropriate for a specific cost. The $5,000 for a driveway would be, in my mind, this is equivalent to moving debris out of the way for the parking lot, right? I mean, one is like necessary and relevant and has to be done in order to move forward, where the other one is for a specific line item. Mr. Klein, I think those are the parallels that I'm making. That's not makes sense to me.
I don't even understand why the highway department would charge us anything. The highway department is us. We've got pipe there, we've got gravel there, we've got people there. The highway department does all kinds of stuff for no cost. They go through and clean down trees of farmers who can't get, I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. This is something that should be just done by the highway department. I don't see.
And he does have a limited budget.
The highway department does have a limited budget. The scope of that budget is to build roads.
I get it. Well, I'm going to put this.
So anything outside of that, we hire them to do.
Here's what I'm going to do. I rarely make motions in the home committee, but to this one, to put it to bed, here's going to be my motion. That is to approve item 4B and to direct just semantically, to direct the finance department to execute the $5,000, not needing being.
Point of information, did we,
Yeah, it was, what was his amendment?
Oh, we voted?
That was an amendment to what, though?
but I made the motion to group and approve.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We never have.
I apologize. Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna make, so we have Mr. Hyde, and I apologize because I lost track. I'm gonna amend this motion just semantically to make things slightly different. That we approve and send, the 15,000, but for the 5,000 for the driveway, we direct the, finance department to pay per usual. That's not, it's an acknowledgement that that's not required. That's my motion.
So how is that different than just approving it?
Functionally, it's not that different. It's it is telling, what I'm doing here is I'm telling the finance department that if something is necessary for ordinary execution of a project, equivalent to moving debris out of the way for the parking lot, that they don't have to, this body doesn't need to do that, and I don't think they do.
Second.
I agree with that part of it. That's my motion for an amendment, and I have a second, Mr. Becker.
I would, just from the mayor's comment, that 5,000 is not enough. If you're going to direct them or whatever, you probably want to either remove the dollar figure altogether or bump it up.
I don't know that we need a dollar.
Yeah, whatever y'all want to do.
And look, because here's the thing, at some degree, I trust these people. Like if somebody comes forward with $30,000 for a driveway or $50,000, I trust that will be moved up and elevated, and it will, at that point, become controversial. You see what I mean? Like, my threshold is just a little higher.
This is a transfer, though, we're gonna need a dollar amount.
Okay.
So
It's not improving the building. The funds right now are sitting in building improvement. It's not improving the building.
All right, Mr. Becker. I withdraw my motion.
Under that, say that.
Building.
if that's the case, now I'm confused even more. If that's the case, how would it operate if they didn't have to ask?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess I disagree with you just a little bit. Like if you have,
Normally, we would make these transfers,
yeah,
and then they would be on this sheet
yeah,
of all these
And we
other
approve them.
budgetary transfers that we bring forth.
which I don't understand why we're not doing it that way.
Yes, so
Because I was asked.
I know, I understand.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a motion that we go ahead and vote on this?
Yeah,
These are all good questions, you can call Ms. Browning tomorrow.
All in favor?
Well, you need one amendment, the dollar amount on the, are you leaving it?
We just,
Well,
what's your amendment? What's your motion? The motion is to group and approve. The motion is to group and approve. Any
Okay.
further discussion?
I just
All in
wanna be
favor?
clear.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
With Mr. Hyde's amendment.
With Mr. Moved as amendment, or as amended. All right,
so then that goes on to the full commission.
it'll go on. All right, item number 6, A5. So, I'm gonna make a comment on this one. This was the exact same motion that came before us last month. It failed. We have had these in the past where, for example, Mr. Ellis had made a motion, it failed, and he had come back with it after making some changes to that motion. And so I have typically, if a department head comes back with something that has changed, I've typically put that onto new business. The difference here is that this is the exact same one. I don't intend to be budgeteer forever, but what I'm going to note is that moving forward, if a motion fails here and it's requested without any change, then I'm not going to put it on. This one I did because it was the first time that it happened. So I'll leave that up, but in the future, if it fails again, I won't be putting it on there. Somebody can always move to put something on from the floor. So, would anybody like to make a motion for this one?
Point of information, Mr. Chairman, do
Yes.
we have just a general ballpark, how much this move has cost already?
I don't, because we don't.
I'm just curious.
I don't know. I wish I did. Ms. Browning, do you know?
I don't.
Just curious. Yeah, no, good question, though, Mr. Becker.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
Is this a group and approve, or is this just?
There's no motion.
Oh, but you're, what I'm saying is we're addressing all three though, right?
Whatever the motion makes. Motion to group and approve.
I'll second that.
Motion
Yes, I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, motion carries.
I'd like to make a motion to deny all three, or the group and approve.
You have to, we just voted on it.
just voted on.
You have to, did you pass? Did you vote yay?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I didn't understand.
Well, that's okay, it doesn't matter, because I didn't vote for it, so. You were on the prevailing side, so would you like to motion to reconsider?
I'd like to reconsider.
I'll second it, and what I have learned is that the second does not have to, have been on the prevailing side, so I'll second that, so motion to reconsider. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, well, we're just gonna, you know what? It's okay.
That was 4-3, probably.
I'll go ahead and, all the ayes, for motion to reconsider, raise your hand. 2 ayes. Okay.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Since that's out of it, just want to make sure if we go back to this time, do we need to waive a second on those? I want to make sure.
Transfer.
Okay, that's what I was writing down.
That's what caused